Pedito Box.
It must be troublesome. Well, I would apologize for you not being able to hear Michael Buffer. We're having some audio problems. He just introduced Louie Espinoza to the crowd. Former title holder. And now the let's get it on. That's why we're here.
Two very strong young men. You saw on the teletape, but when you look at Louie Espinoza, it's hard to believe he only weighs 125 pounds. He bench presses 265 pounds, Al, Dan, which I think is remarkable for a fighter his size.
You weren't really confusing me with Al Michaels, were you? The first thing you're going to find out about Jorge Paez, though, he is an awkward-looking fighter. I don't know that he would be a fun opponent. He comes from all directions, and that overhand right connected. And a solid left uppercut. It found its way between Espinoza's gloves as well.
Louie Espinoza, generally, in the two fights he's lost, in the most recent losses of his three, he's had trouble with boxers, moving boxers. Paez is not a moving boxer, but as you said, he moves his head very well.
And Paez takes a lot of chances in the ring. Look at that, allowing Espinoza to hit him. At will, allowing Espinoza to take 4 or 5 shots at his face.
That was the Three Stooges punching combination. He hit himself in the head twice, and then he hit Louie.
For Louie Espinoza, it has to be business as usual. He can't lose his head by the clowning taking place in front of him by Paez. I'd have to think that Espinoza must remain calm and must maintain a high level of concentration.
But he can't wait. He's waiting right now. He can't do this. He must let his hands go.
Well, when's the last time you saw someone like Paez stand there in a title fight and let his opponent whack away at him?
The last time Paez fought.
Yeah. Well, a good point.
There's Louie throwing punches in combination. And a good body shot at the end. That punch at the end was the best punch of the combination.
But it's Paez just allowing him to do so. Paez hasn't thrown a punch in 30 seconds. Took a little flick with a jab. Again, he's trying to distract Espinoza by waving his right hand in semi-bolo fashion. This is a scheduled 12-rounder for the IBF featherweight title, held by Mr. Paez of the spectacular haircut, and a good combination from Espinoza. And Paez just supremely confident in being able to move his upper body and deflect those blows.
And also supremely confident in his ability to take the punch when he gets hit. But Louie Espinoza hits a little bit better than Calvin Grove, a lot better than Calvin Grove. And it'll be interesting to see how often Louie is able to land on him when he gets his hands down like that, and how well Paez takes the punch.
Well, Espinoza's going to have a problem if he doesn't start defensing the uppercut of Jorge Paez any better than he has here in round number 1. Stay with us. The bell just sounds to start the second round here in Phoenix, Arizona. Jorge Paez with a very solid first round. I gave him the round on my scorecard.
Yeah, he's got some bad swelling, does the champion Jorge Paez, under his left eye, Dan. It may be a little nick there, too.
He was landing his uppercut with a great deal of regularity in the first round, and now a little more aggressiveness from the challenger, Louie Espinoza. Maybe finally, Alex, getting to the point where he might be letting his hands go.
You see that swelling there on Paez. Very early in the fight to have that much swelling.
A lot of feinting and jabbing, as both fighters content to stand right in the middle of the ring. There was a butt, and you could see both fighters being gentlemen about it, touching gloves afterwards, an unintentional butt.
Their heads have come together quite a few times already, Dan.
Well, that's nothing new for a Paez fight either. And it's because of the way he comes forward like that. And he's got Espinoza up against the ropes. Louie doesn't appear to be hurt, but just putting him right back against the ropes. And again, that uppercut of Paez continues to hurt Espinoza.
Stick the glove in the guy's face. You heard Bobby Ferraro warn Paez about sticking the glove in the face. You cannot measure a man. You must throw a punch.
A whole lot of measuring going on right now. Oh, and a solid, good left jab from Paez.
The best jab I ever saw Jorge Paez throw.
Well, Espinoza certainly wasn't expecting it. He didn't even move his gloves, just took it flush on his forehead.
I mean, there are entire Paez fights where he never throws a jab. He just throws power punches. Right now, he's elevating his ability. He is improving. He improved in the second Calvin Grove fight, and I think he's improved in this fight.
And Paez faking that he was hurt, severely taunting Espinoza, giving it the weak-kneed look, about the only look he hasn't shown so far.
You see Louie Espinoza bouncing there, trying not to get too predictable, trying not to come straight in. He said he had to work from angle. Has not been able to do that too much so far. Both fighters looking to counterpunch right there. They're feinting. They're waiting for the other man to take the lead.
Jorge Paez staying away from Espinoza, but by design, and gives you the impression that this fight is going Jorge Paez's way. I've been referring to the uppercut of Paez and how it's been scoring. A good look at it there from the second round. And here in the beginning of the third round, these two explode out of their corners right in each other's face.
It's much more the pace of the fight than we expected, Dan, rather than the cat-and-mouse game of the first two rounds.
I mean, these two just propelled themselves from their corners. And this is the style that these two have shown the balance of their careers. This is the way they fight.
Good inside left hook by Paez, countering. Louie Espinoza said before that he could not get hit with clean punches on the inside. The Paez was too strong.
Louie Espinoza's best punch from inside is his left.
And from the outside, it's that straight right when he has time to step up and room to step up with it.
But loves to score with that left when he's inside.
Right now, Louie Espinoza is backing up. Got his back on the ropes there, and Louie Espinoza can't win this fight backing up. We talked about
a left from Paez takes Espinoza right in the chest and really rocked him.
We talked before the fight about Espinoza having to get Paez's respect. He has not been able to do that yet.
I think you're beginning to sense that there's a lot more to Jorge Paez than flashy trunks and wild haircuts and dancing in the ring. He's extremely strong.
In this kind of a grueling fight, Dan, obviously can... Ooh, tremendous Paez work on the inside.
And look at that right. And Espinoza not attempting to fight back. There's a meager effort.
Louie Espinoza's right eye came out of that exchange looking bad. I was trying to say that the key of this fight may be conditioning.
And that left uppercut from Espinoza found its way in.
Paez starting to breathe through the mouth a little bit.
Boy, he loaded up on that right and missed.
Obviously, they can't maintain this pace, Dan. Just a matter of who needs to take rest the most. Paez, you see here, breathing very heavily. But when he's breathing like that, Louie Espinoza must jump on him. Don't let him take the rest.
Well, these are two fighters that aren't used to going the distance. The vast majority of both of their fights and in knockouts in their favor. This is the end of the third round. I think these guys need a break. For Louie Espinoza in his corner between rounds says, Louie, don't be lazy. You can't stand right in front of this guy. You have to move side to side.
First warning from Bobby Ferrara, the referee. Oh, good right hand by Paez. And again, the inside left hook warned him about holding and hitting, which is a Paez trademark.
And Borchardt's right. Espinoza, you get the feeling, and that was a good right from Espinoza. But he does not give the impression that if he's going to stand and trade blows with Paez, that he's going to win the fight.
There you saw Espinoza switch southpaw on the inside there for a minute. That's something which Paez does, has not done yet.
Louie Espinoza, a notorious slow starter. I don't know that Paez gave him the luxury of being much of a slow starter today. But Espinoza will be the first to tell you, the longer a fight goes, the better I feel.
Keep an eye on that right eye of Louie Espinoza. It started to swell up last round. It does not look good.
And 1-2 combination from Paez and an effective combination in return from Espinoza. For one of the rare times in this fight, has Paez moving backwards. And again, the uppercut from Paez does some damage.
And again, Paez out-punching Espinoza. Louie's looking for perfect punching opportunities, and he's just not going to get him. Yeah, this guy is too aggressive and too awkward and too wild. And Louie's just going to have to let his hands go. And we said it, we're repeating it, but it just happens to be the story of the fight.
And again, in that last exchange, a right and a left from Paez hit solidly on the face of Espinoza, whose face is really starting to show some serious wear and tear. This is action in the 4th round here in Phoenix, Arizona, the hometown of Louie Espinoza.
The blood on the bridge of the nose of Louie Espinoza. He's starting to really look beat up.
Paez taking a little time off. He's prone to do that, at least for some small portion of a round, and I'm sure Espinoza is appreciative.
Louie had a good uppercut in there.
The first 2 hit the gloves, and again, look at Paez saying, come on, you want to take a whack at me? Go ahead. And a combination from Paez, right, left, right, all scored.
This fight was an even fight, a pick-em fight coming in. Oh, good inside right here by Paez at the bell.
And we're going to stay up and measuring him with those punches. Any validity to that, Alex?
I really think Bobby Ferrara has not missed too much in this fight so far. Paez is a real tough guy to keep control of, but he's been tame, relatively tame in this fight.
Espinoza bleeding from the bridge of the nose, swelling worse on his left eye than his right.
Paul Percifield is the cut man in Louie's corner. Paul worked as a cut man for Umbo Mancini. Had some practice.
And another combination from Paez that scores, and he's just willing to move his upper body, and Espinoza having trouble finding the range.
But he did score there. At least he did score, let his hands go, and scored some points. I mean, as hard as these guys are throwing, it makes you wonder if the fight can go the distance, but I mean, the fighters have to be concerned about winning the rounds, too. And right now we have Jorge Paez winning most of them.
I had the 3rd round as a draw. That was clearly Espinoza's best round.
I had the 1st round even, too.
Good left lead from Jorge Paez. Those last pair landed on gloves.
All right, come on, get out. Paez is just throwing more, landing more, and his punches are harder. Good inside punch there by Louie Espinoza. But I really believe Louie would be better to step back in, get a little punching room, and there. He did it on the inside that time, but Paez was in range to land some counter shots. Once again, Louie moving backwards. Now he plants himself. He got to stop Paez.
Oh, and a left lead snaps the head back of Espinoza. But clearly the middle minute in that round was the best for Louie so far.
But this is Louie once again on the ropes.
And being measured by Paez. Paez putting a glove on Espinoza and almost holding him there.
The Espinoza corner yelling body, but Louie's not letting his... There was a good right hand to the body and then a right to the head.
And that's the way to finish an exchange for Espinoza. Inside the final 20 seconds of round number 5.
Paez a little bit tired here, but Louie's tired also. These are the times we said it before, where Louie should jump on Jorge Paez and do some damage.
Away in the 6th round. The IBF World Featherweight Championship. The man on the right, Jorge Paez, is the champion, being challenged by Louie Espinoza on your left.
There, a good right hand by Louie to the body of Jorge, and then a left jab after it.
The advice from Espinoza's corner during the round was, Louie, hang in there, hang in there. Paez, though, has shown no signs whatsoever of slowing down. Certainly to this point, Alex, he looks a lot fresher than Espinoza.
And whenever he does take some time off, Louie, as you said earlier, needs the time off himself. He's not able to jump on it.
There's Virgil Hill, who's here in attendance this afternoon, the light heavyweight champion, who we will see next Saturday afternoon in Bismarck, Alex.
Virgil is training here in Phoenix for that fight, defense against the unbeaten #1 WBA contender, Joe Lasisi. A great scene in Bismarck.
8,000 or 9,000 people on hand. We'll be there as well next Saturday afternoon on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
It's interesting. The fans in Bismarck are Virgil Hill fans. The fans here in Phoenix, equally loud, equally good. I think these are boxing fans.
I agree. Several busloads of Jorge Paez's followers made the 250-mile trip up here to Phoenix from Mexicali, Mexico, and they certainly haven't been disappointed in what they've seen out of the champion.
Again, you see how battered Louie Espinoza looks.
And the bridge of Espinoza's nose is beginning to swell even more and bleeding. Not for the faint-hearted, the inside action with these two.
Right now, Jorge Paez is just one punch at a time. Ooh, good one punch that time. Right hand, right in the chops. But he's not as busy as he was.
And Espinoza beginning to bleed more and more from his nose.
He just has to ignore that. He's got to keep his concentration. It's not going into his eye. He's got to try to ignore the swelling. Ooh, the swelling that's closing his eyes.
And when you watch Jorge Paez fight, you're so impressed with his inside power. His punches just sound better than do Louie Espinoza's, a notorious power puncher himself.
And also with Paez's ability to take a punch. I mean, Louie Espinoza, as you said, is a hard punching featherweight. Paez hasn't been close to being hurt, even though dropping his hands a number of times.
This fight scheduled for 12. This is the end of round number 6. Espinoza comes out of his corner. Jorge Paez from his, and we had a good look at that cut on the bridge of Espinoza's nose, and it is just a slice right across the top of the bridge. And Alex, your assessment was right. It's really not getting in his eyes. His eyes aren't swelling from that blow, from that cut rather, so not a major problem for Louie Espinoza.
And right away in the opening of round 7, Paez comes out very, very quick. He took 6 off, but he's landed some hard punches on the inside. They gave Espinoza the 6th round. I thought he landed more punches, was a little bit busier, but Paez is showing that was just a temporary change of the pace of this fight. And I think the most important thing is, for the majority of this fight, Jorge Paez has set the pace. He's fought when he wanted to fight, when he wanted to rest, so did Espinoza.
And a left lead that time, and another left from Paez snaps back the head of Espinoza. That was a glancing blow to hit nothing but a glove.
Watch the head. Come on. Hold it. Let's break. Come on. Get out. Louie, come back with a left.
Minute and a half left here in the 7th round.
That was the voice of Willie Borchert in the Espinoza corner saying, Louie, come back with a left, and he did and scored with it. Now, Louie's giving ground. He's sharp shooting. Boy, he looks bad. I mean, it's not a beauty contest here, but Louie Espinoza is taking a battering.
We'd like to alert our ABC stations that at the conclusion of this round, we're going to be taking a station break.
Louie Espinoza says the thing that keeps him going is pride and determination, and that is being tested here.
Well, he's 4 years older than Jorge Paez at 27 years of age. You have to wonder how many more shots at a title there are in the future of Louie Espinoza. Talk about determination. That would be enough for me.
The key to the fight, Dan, I just think is Paez can hurt Louie, and Louie can't hurt Paez, at least thus far.
I would agree. We haven't seen anything from Espinoza that has even caught the attention of Jorge Paez. The crowd here in Phoenix urging their man on, chanting Louie. Oh, and what a right from Paez.
And Paez, I think, may be cut, Dan. That may be Louie's blood. There's a lot of blood in the left eye of Paez.
I can't tell whose blood it is. There is blood. Local stations, we're going to stay here between rounds. We'll give you your station break a little later down the line. So we're going to keep it here to find out whose blood that is on the face of Jorge Paez.
It is Jorge Paez's blood. Barbaric. The sport is barbaric, but he senses blood. He sees the blood, and it gives you a surge of adrenaline.
And since this fight started, that's the first time that Louie Espinoza was out of his stool before the bell to start the round. Now, let's see if he can capitalize.
How will it affect Paez? Will Paez go into a shell trying to protect the eye? Louie does not come out aggressively. He hasn't thrown a punch yet.
And you'd think, if anything, he would really fly out
Paez. Louie Espinoza did hold it, hit that time, and Paez says, hey, you warned me. Why didn't you warn him? And right away, Louie Espinoza, with that one punch, he's all busted up again. His nose is busted up. His right eye is swelling.
But yet his legs still appear to be beneath him. Don't be totally confused by the condition of Espinoza's face. I think the rest of him is doing a little bit better than his nose. And that is not a knockdown.
No, it's not a knockdown, but that is strange. I mean, obviously, Louie Espinoza pushed him down. He was warned by Bobby Ferrar correctly, but I'm really surprised how easily Paez went down.
There was a push on the back of the head, but I agree with you, Alex. Paez just kind of rode with it and took a ride to the canvas. And this isn't going to win the fight for Louie Espinoza.
This is cat and mouse, and this is not going to win the, it's not going to win the fight for either man. One man has to ignore the cuts, go out and try to take charge in spite of them. Louie should be trying to take Paez out of the fight. Obviously, Paez is bothered by the cut.
To our ABC stations down the line, we'll attempt to give you a station break again at the end of this round, but pay attention. That's subject to what happens, but we'll give you a station break at the conclusion of this round.
Louie waiting way too much.
You would have thought he would have just flown out of his corner and been all over Jorge Paez.
He knows Paez is still dangerous, but he has to go after him.
Well, he's fought enough, though, Alex, to sense where he is in this fight. A solid punch from Paez lands on Espinoza, but Louie Espinoza's been around the block a few times. He knows he's trailing in this fight.
Unofficially, we have him trailing. Again, Louie feigning, but instead of landing the punch after the feint, it was Paez who came in with a punch, and Louie didn't counterpunch.
We're coming to the end of round number 8. Schlitz Malt Liquor Professional Boxing will continue here from Phoenix after this word from our ABC station. Here's the beginning of the 9th round. I think a couple points we have to make. One, Alex, I feel that with 4 rounds left to go, that this is a fight that Louie Espinoza can still win on a decision if he closes strong and wins these 4 rounds. And maybe even 3 of the 4 might get him close.
And he does, yeah, it's a tough fight to score, Dan. I'm not sure, the Paez, we got Paez ahead a couple of points. I'm not sure that is the situation on the 3 judges' scorecards. I mean, it's very tough to score.
Now, here's another point we have to make. We talked yesterday with Jorge Paez's handlers, who talked about how difficult it is to get him to train. If he only feels like working out for 15 minutes, he only goes for 15. What kind of effect could that have in a 12-round fight?
Well, he's the kind of kid who doesn't train very well, but he's also the kind of kid who doesn't really abuse himself. He's not a kid who's out drinking all night. And he knocked out Calvin Grove, knocked him down 3 times the 15th round when he won the title, so he does have late knockout power. The key to tiring him out is put pressure on him. Willie Borchert told Louie Espinoza in the corner, make him fight the whole round. I think if Louie Espinoza could find it within himself to do that, I think he could get into the fight. And as I said, he may very well be in it. The fight could very much be on the line.
That was a good combination by Espinoza. Most of them were glancing blows, but yet he was busy. Paez presented himself, and Espinoza took advantage. And a little bit of an awkward lunge that time by Paez. Off balance, head down.
Louie Espinoza in his career has scored 28 knockouts. More than half of them have been in the second half of the fight. He does have late knockout power. He's a slow starter who comes on strong.
And a good job by Espinoza of spinning out of the corner. When Paez has you in that position, watch how he leans in with his head. Almost battering rams you back into the corner. And a good close to that exchange by Espinoza. Scores with a left.
Paez scores twice with the left himself. Jorge's gotten away a little bit from that uppercut he was scoring with so effectively, Dan.
When a fighter comes in low like that with his head down, as Paez is doing, the punch you would automatically look for would be the uppercut. You'd think that Louie Espinoza would be thinking about that at this stage in the fight if Paez is going to come in low as he is now. It's been a pace to this point that a lot of people didn't think they could keep up, but somehow they have. The end of 9. Fighters out of their chairs early as we get started here in the 10th round. And Louie Espinoza has to feel pretty good about where he is. He's clearly within striking distance.
Looks right now like this fight's going to go the distance, Dan. Makes you look at the judges. Once again, Bill Graham of Nevada, Juan Jose Ramirez of Mexico, and Mike Munoz of Arizona. If form holds true, Juan Jose Ramirez has Jorge Paez in the lead.
And there was a good uppercut a couple of seconds ago by Paez that scored again on Espinoza. To this point, it's probably been Jorge Paez's best punch. We see time being called in the ring. Bob Ferrara, the referee, taking Paez back over to his corner. Something wrong with his glove.
A little bit of tape coming off.
Yep.
Very tough to retape gloves like this. And Paez blowing kisses to the crowd.
That's
a tough kid to rattle.
Nothing like letting a little fight get in the way of his social engagements, I guess.
You see who Paez is talking to? He's not talking to his corner. He's posing for a cameraman.
Well, he's also looking towards the direction of the arena where the Mexican contingent that has come up from Mexicali is seated. And you know what? That's just not staged. That's just the way he is.
That's him.
Good exchange by both fighters. And Paez goes to work.
Who's got the most left?
A warning there about the head from Bob Ferrara, the referee. Oh, and a good combination.
And Louie Espinoza's legs went stiff with those punches. Paez taking the play away right here.
And he's just challenging Espinoza to come in and try to get me.
Louie said he wouldn't be intimidated by these kind of tactics, but he looks intimidated. Now he doesn't.
But again, Paez was moving his head away.
Tough fight, Dan.
Oh, a brutal fight. And a very difficult fight to score. But if you're looking at whose punches seem to pack the most wallop, I'd have to go with Jorge Paez.
cut does not seem to be bleeding right now. Chuck Bodak did a good job in his corner. Does not appear to be a factor. Louie Espinoza has to unload that right hand.
And Espinoza with Paez up against the rope. 40 seconds left here in the round.
Ooh, good Paez hook inside. And the uppercut.
30 seconds remaining in the round.
Real good round for the champion, Jorge Paez.
We're down in the final 15 seconds here of the 10th round. A good round for Jorge Paez. We'll return to Phoenix for the final couple of rounds after this. And we're just underway here in the 11th round. Jorge Paez on the right with the wild haircut and the sequin shorts. Hometown challenger and former world junior featherweight champion, Louie Espinoza. And Espinoza, I would think, to win this fight, better win rounds 11 and 12.
You really never know, Dan. That's true in our scorecards.
Yeah.
But still a very close fight.
And at the end of this fight, they're not going to ask our opinion, are they?
No, we don't count. Jorge Paez carrying his left very low, but Louie Espinoza's got a real good right hand, not letting it go.
A left from Paez scores. Jorge Paez, not just a one-punch fighter, pretty effective with his combinations here this afternoon.
I mean, we've repeated many times, tough fight to score. Watch the exchanges. Just watch each exchange and see who gets the better of each exchange.
Oh, and the right uppercut lands on the chin of Espinoza.
People aren't booing, they're chanting Louie, trying to get Louie, inspire him to let some punches go. Louie Espinoza on the left of your screen. But he just isn't getting off.
I think Louie's saying, well, I'm glad you're behind me, but you're not the one in here with this guy.
Come on down here, I'll give you the gloves.
The fake right hand, a page out of Sugar Ray Leonard's book.
He took it out of Kid Gavilan's book. Again, Paez with that kind of intimidation, and Louie Espinoza, who's fighting a very valiant and brave fight. I mean, I'm not saying he's obviously not totally intimidated. He isn't getting run out of the ring.
A little swivel hip action by Paez. And time being called again.
Again,
and the glove, this time on the left wrist of Paez.
Once that tape is wet like that, it's very, very tough to make the tape stick.
That's a good job by Bob Ferrara, the referee. That's his job.
You said in the past, that little bit of tape doesn't look like much, but it can flick into the eye of the opponent. The opponent is the one in danger.
Now the right eye of Louie Espinoza is swelling pretty noticeably.
Yeah, that was the eye that was starting to close in about the third or fourth round. Held up for a while, but you're right, it now appears to be a problem again.
We're just inside the final minute of the 11th round.
Ooh, I think that punch looked a little better than it was, but a good inside uppercut by Louie Espinoza, and another good punch in the exchange, and another right hand.
A good close by Espinoza, scores on 3 successive rights. And Louie Espinoza acting like somebody's flipped his switch. We're at the 32nd mark of round number 11.
This could be a crucial round. Paez dominated the first 2 minutes. Espinoza's looking very good here in the end.
Inside 20 seconds. We are at the 10-second mark here of the 11th round. It ought to be wild here. The final round coming up. Gloves and get it started here in the 12th and final round of this IBF featherweight title fight. We've been talking how difficult this fight is to score. This round may be critical for both fighters. This may be needed to gain a win. The right eye of Louie Espinoza swelling, but probably won't be a factor before this round is over. If anyone may be able to be a little more comfortable in the 12th round, I would think it would be Paez. If you're Louie Espinoza in the 12th round, I think you'd have to feel a sense of urgency. And yet so far, it's been Paez that's been the busier fighter.
Another question, Dan, is what is the effect of the hometown crowd? Jorge Paez said he wanted to come to Phoenix, fight in the other man's backyard. This is his first fight outside Mexico. He wanted to prove that he's a true world champion.
His quote to us yesterday was, "I don't want to be just the champion of Mexicali. I want to be the champion of the entire world." Well, this has certainly been a courageous effort on the part of both of these fighters. It's not often that you see two guys willing to stand toe-to-toe through 12 rounds of boxing like this, Alex.
And again, Paez putting the pressure on, backing Espinoza up.
And as he has all fight, Jorge Paez, acting like he's not afraid of anything Louie Espinoza has to give it.
But you saw Louie Espinoza stand his ground there, Dan, and back up Paez into the corner.
Inside the final minute, down to 45 seconds in the 12th round.
These two men have sustained a tremendous pace.
It's no surprise to anyone who has watched this fight that both of these men, at one time or another, have been world champions. There are certain prerequisites to being a world champion, and having the skill and the toughness that these two have displayed here today is certainly part of it.
We talked about the contrast between them at the top of the show. They have one thing in common. They both have tremendous fighting hearts.
The fight almost over. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll come back here to Phoenix for the decision and the winner. Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official scoring. Dr. Michael Junio scores it out 114 to 114. He has even. Program scores it out 116 to 113. And Juan Jose Maromero scores it out 115 to 113. Ramirez has the score 4 or 5 minutes before. Paez, Program has the score for Espinoza. Now is a three-way split. It's a draw, ladies and gentlemen.
And on a draw, the champion Jorge Paez keeps his title. Jorge Paez is still the world champion. Jorge, Nacho, please tell Jorge. Louie, stay here. Louie, stay here. Tell Jorge that he won the last round on all 3 cards. Did he think he had to win that round to get in, to keep his title?
Que tenías que ganar el último round para ganar la pelea que tuviera.
Así es, porque era muy dura. Yeah, he goes.
Very hard to fight. He's a good opener.
Congratulations, Jorge. We're very short for time. Let me talk to Louie. Louie, it has to be a terrible disappointment.
Well, yeah, it is. Jorge was a great fighter, tough fighter, very determined. It was a rough one. I can't argue one way or the other.
I got to say goodbye, Louie. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Congratulations, you both. Let's go to Dan.
Okay, folks.